Welcome back to Today in Design and SEO Marketing, the podcast you need. I'm Ron Wicker. Let's talk about this. Quick headline. A recent client launch pushed critical landing pages out of the crawl queue, and they lost 38% of organic impressions in 10 days. That's real money, real leads gone. And we heard from their product lead plainly. We watched traffic vanish overnight. That's the hook for today. How to stop a launch from burying your pages and get traffic back fast.
I hear you. Hi, I'm Mitzi Roach. Before we dive into tactics, let's spend 30 seconds on what a sitemap actually is. It's a simple map you hand to search engines that lists the pages you want them to consider. Think of it as a prioritized guest list for a big event. If the right names aren't on the front of the list, they might not get in early. That's why sitemaps matter for launch safety and quick discovery.
Here's the promise. 5 ops-friendly sitemap moves you can do this sprint, each with one immediate task, KPIs to watch, and sample XML snippets in the show notes. We'll keep it practical. No heavy engineering required. Ready, Mitzi?
Most definitely. Let's dive in. Point 1. Split and submit sitemaps by intent and priority. Instead of one giant sitemap, export your site and create separate files. For example, a transactional sitemap with your top 20 conversion pages and an evergreen sitemap for content. Immediate task. Export your sitemap and split your top 20 pages into transactional and evergreen files.
And why this matters. When you split by intent, you give the crawler cleaner signals about what to prioritize after a launch. KPI to watch, indexation speed of the transactional sitemap, and impressions for those top pages over the next 72 hours. If you see no improvement, you can always revert to the previous combined sitemap quickly.
Point 2. Stage sitemaps for launches and embargoes. Don't submit a launch sitemap to production before the public go-live. Draft a staged sitemap and submit it to a staging Search Console property or to a small test host. Immediate task, draft a staged sitemap for your next launch and test submission in a staging Search Console property.
I like that. It's basically rehearing the choreography before the show. KPI to watch here. Any unexpected crawl errors or spikes in indexation mismatches between staging and production. If staging looks clean, promote the staged sitemap at launch time.
Point 3 is our short case study. Problem, action, result. Problem, the client had a generic auto-generated sitemap after a release, and high-value landing pages were deprioritized. Action, we swapped in a targeted transactional sitemap that listed 30 priority URLs, corrected lastmod timestamps, and submitted that single file to Search Console. Result, impressions recovered 28% within 5 days, and clicks followed in the next week. Impressions and clicks did not return instantly, but the trend reversed fast enough to avert a longer-term slump.
Concrete numbers make this real. Lost 38% in 10 days. Swapped sitemap on day 3. Saw a 28% recovery by day 8. Immediate KPI after action, impressions and clicks for those priority pages, tracked daily, and index coverage in Search Console. That case shows you don't always need deep engineering to recover traffic.
Point 4. Fix lastmod and use priority sparingly. Lastmod should reflect meaningful content updates, not every tiny meta tweet. Immediate task. Correct lastmod for your 10 highest value pages so they reflect the last substantive change. KPI. Watch whether Search Console's index date aligns with your lastmod over the next crawl window. If it doesn't, dig into canonical and server headers.
Don't fall for the set everything to now trap. Overusing priority and lastmod creates noise and can lull teams into false confidence. Think of those fields as gentle nudges, not commands. If you treat them conservatively, they help. If you abuse them, they confuse the crawler and your metrics.
Point 5. Run conservative sitemap-driven experiments with rollback gates. Immediate task, submit a 5-page test sitemap for a small set of pages, set alerts for greater than 20% impression swings, and have a rollback-ready sitemap file you can resubmit within minutes.
And the KPIs for those experiments are simple. Look at impressions, clicks, and indexation percentage for the test pages over the first 72 hours. If impressions drop more than your alert threshold, resubmit the rollback sitemap and investigate. That's why we always pilot in small batches.
Let's talk trade-offs and governance. When not to rely on sitemaps, if your canonicalization, redirects, or robots directives are wrong, sitemaps won't fix discovery problems. Racy one-liner? Engineering owns sitemap deployment. SEO owns sitemap content and validation. Product signs off on intent. Immediate task? Add a one-line racy sign-off to your next release checklist.
Good governance keeps changes from becoming surprises. Also, pair sitemap changes with crawl log validation and automated monitoring, so you have data-driven rollback gates rather than gut feeling.
Tools and show notes? Check Search Console for index coverage, validate with crawl logs, and use the one-line sitemap generator command and XML snippet we've put in the notes. KPIs to watch? Indexation speed, impressions, and recovered clicks. If you're implementing, use the sample XML and generator command in our notes for a quick start.
Optional resources, we linked a short Thinkit Media rapid sitemap audit checklist in the notes. Non-promotional, just a practical template you can run through in about 20 minutes. Final CTA, subscribe to the show so you don't miss future quick technical playbooks like this.
Before we close, one simple step you can take right now. Export your sitemap and create a staged sitemap for one critical URL. Do it now and file the staged sitemap in a place your team can resubmit immediately if you need to roll back.
That's great. If you found this useful, subscribe. Share with a product lead or engineer who handles releases, and grab the checklist in the show notes. We'll be back with more practical, ops-friendly SEO moves next episode.
Most definitely. Export that sitemap, test in staging, and keep your rollback ready. Thanks for listening.